So welcome to my Patreon page. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for watching this video and taking interest in my work. I want to just take a few moments to talk about what Patreon is and talk about the payment structures that I've organised and why I've chosen to use a service like Patreon. So the reason I've chosen Patreon is because it fulfills a number of requirements that have sort of been lacking in the way I distribute work up until now. So there are a few problems with Facebook and with having a blog site, for example, in terms of distributing your work. I'd like to distribute my work for free, but increasingly what's happening is I'm moving into a stage of my work or the project that I'm working on where I'm only really producing images from the tantric path. So those images are secret, and there needs to be some way of me limiting who accesses those images if they're on the internet. Patreon provides a wonderful way of achieving that by separating audiences according to what they call a tier system, which is essentially a payment structure. So by paying a certain amount of money, you receive access to my sutra paintings, and by paying another amount of money, you receive access to my tantra paintings. And they're all locked in within Patreon's system so that no one else can view those images. The money aspect of Patreon has become important for two reasons. One, I'm finding it increasingly harder to live as an artist. There's a lot of financial pressure. I don't have a job. I own a retreat centre which costs me a lot of money to maintain. So what I don't like seeing is financial pressure limit my ability to produce art, because I believe it's the most important thing that I can do in this life. So Patreon is a way of asking you for help to keep me producing work and to try and help mitigate some of those financial problems. From your side, in terms of the secret images, the tantra images, Patreon is very important because what it does is it sets up a reciprocal arrangement where I can share the work with you, but where you share something with me in return. It's a little bit inappropriate for me to just give the tantric images away because they're so laden, so loaded with power. So I feel much happier about it from a karmic point of view if there's some exchange going on there. I want to give them for free, but it's not the best thing. So by putting in place an arrangement where there's a small amount of money exchanged for my work, and it's not a large amount, for example, the highest tier of Tantra that I have is $25 per work. You're essentially giving me $25 in exchange for 200 to 300 hours of my work. So it's not a large amount. So the payment model I've chosen for Patreon is what they're calling a per work basis. So it means that per work that I produce, if you sign up as a patron of mine, you are charged a certain amount of money per work that I produce. So let's say you're on the $10 tier. If I produce a work, you agree to give me $10. Make sure if you sign up, as you're going through the sign-up process, there'll be a little box that says limit the monthly amount that I pay. That's quite important to tick because there'll be some months where, let's say I produce 5 works within a month if I'm being productive. I don't want to charge you $50 within a month. So if you put a cap of $10 per month based on $10 per work, it means that if I produce 5 works within that month, you'll only pay $10. So you essentially receive the other 4 works for free. That takes a lot of the pressure off me, and it enables me to work in a much more, in a freer structure. Because some months, like I said, I may produce 5 pieces of work, and other months, if I'm in retreat, I'll produce nothing. So that way you really have a lot of control over what you pay me, and hopefully it won't ever turn into an arrangement where you feel like, I'm not receiving my money's worth. Hopefully that would never be the case, because as I said, those 200, 300 hours of my work in exchange for $10 to $25 is a pretty good arrangement. So thank you for dropping by. I really appreciate your willingness to help me. Hopefully it'll be an ongoing relationship that we have, where I can make beautiful work and you can receive that work, and it helps you, it inspires you, it keeps you alive and motivated with your practice. And hopefully a lot of the work will answer some of the questions you have about the way the deities appear or they interact, or whatever iconographic element is being painted. Hopefully that will answer some of your questions, and it'll be a learning experience, not just one of relating to an object of beauty, but because there's so much meaning in these pictures, you will receive that meaning in the form of Dharma. So once again, thank you for helping me, and look forward to working with you.